be a pastry chef. And then when I went to pastry school, I fell in love with making bread. And so that was my first job getting out of pastry school.
What was it about baking bread for you?
I liked how fast-paced it was, and I liked that you kind of always have to be babysitting it because things proof and things are alive, and it's really fast-paced, or it can be. And so the bakery I worked at was a wholesale bakery. We do wholesale. This was a large scale, not large scale, but it was kind of like us, but if we were like 3 years down the road. Like they had a big wholesale business, wanted to have their own retail space. So I kind of got in there at the beginning of this company, and it was a really exciting work environment. It was long hours, but I learned a lot. That's where I started making pretzels. I was kind of their convection, so it's a convection oven. So we did like wood-fired pastry or wood-fired breads there. And I did the convection breads, became the convection manager, and then I, probably before I was ready, started their pastry program, doing croissants and cookies.
You started the pastry program.
I did, and I think I was like, hadn't been in the food industry that long, so I was probably biting off more than I could chew at the time. But I learned a lot. Yeah, I learned a lot from that experience. So when I came here, and I was there for 7 years, and so when I came here, I was able to kind of apply a lot of the things that I learned from mistakes that they made, from the great things that they did, and be able to apply those to our business in the first year. And so I feel, like you said, you look calm. I feel like this feels like home. Like 3, 4 a.m. in a bakery, holidays. The holiday season isn't a holiday season without making a bunch of pie. You know, it's like, that's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a vibe. It's a lifestyle.
I always wanted to open a cafe since I worked in coffee. My first job was working at Starbucks, and then I worked at Starbucks for like 5 years, and it was honestly like the first time I felt comfortable being queer somewhere, working in a coffee shop. I grew up in Virginia, and like then I studied music and was in concert production for a long time, and there's like something about like music and coffee and pastries and art that all comes together that just creates like a really safe space. And that's why I want to do this, is to help create a really safe space for everyone, but especially with queer folks, especially in this area, especially right now. And so that's kind of my impetus for it, and I get to learn to bake along the way. I'm not trusted with the bake yet, but I can do some good garnishing and bake the twice baked croissants. So I'm learning. How did we meet? Okay, so funny story. Before I transitioned, my name was Colleen.
Okay, so Colleen is your dead name.
Yeah.
So you.
And then so I don't often hear someone with that name. Interestingly, I feel like all the lesbians we know are named, all Colleen
I'm not even the only queer Colleen in my family.
But we're both in recovery. Colleen, can I say that? You okay with me saying that? Okay. We're both in recovery, and so we met at a meeting for what we're in a program for in Oakland. Okay. And I heard them say her name, and I was just like, oh, I never knew another Colleen. And then we like saw each other on a dating app not too long later. Saw each other on a dating app not too long later, and I was just like, I'm definitely not swiping right because I can't date someone with my same name. And then I sat on it for a while because it's like you can't pass the screen unless you make a decision.
Right.
And I was just like, fuck it. I swiped right, and then we met. So
the rest is history.
The rest is history. We just kept running into each other.
People always say baking's a science, and it is. because if there's certain parts of it that you can't, like you have to put the right amount of yeast, you have to put the right amount of salt. But when you start doing like Denishes and things with flavors, it's also very important to think like a cook and always be tasting and know how flavors balance, especially when you're doing vegan products. You need to pull all of those different flavors and know how to do that. So I think that like everyone can learn from every part of the kitchen, you know? Like there's someone at a farmer's market that we do in Hyde Park, and he used to be a saucier in a restaurant a long time ago. And I love talking to him about flavors because he knows flavor, because he'd make all the sauces for the restaurant. Like he had to know how to layer everything. So I love like learning from him about how to do flavors, you know?
Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Does it have to be business related?
No, not at all.
Maybe. Just so you know, I'm grateful for you, but like you could like, yeah. I just want you to know that it's like if you say not me, I won't be mad about it because there's so many people in our lives that we can be grateful for.
Yeah, and I was
That
thinking,
gives you permission, Ryan.
I'm taking control of the situation.
Well, that way, if I wasn't gonna choose you, you wouldn't
Yeah, I don't
know.
feel bad because I gave permission.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I have had really great mentors in my life. But right now, I'm really grateful for my two siblings, who I've become very close with. They live in different countries.
Oh, wow.
But we talk every day because my dad is sick, and in the last stages of his life, and they've been just like a constant source of support as we're moving through this. And I don't know, they're just like the most kind, accepting, loving people, and they just like, we have a really strong bond. Right? Wouldn't you say?
Marta?
No, me and my sisters.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
You live in 3 different places in the world and you talk almost every day, and you just are so, I think your bond is getting even closer now.
Colleen, who was your love note piece of?
I don't know about love note, but I think
I'm keeping that in. I don't know about love note.
I think like the first person that came to mind as far as how it applies to the business is my old boss. So I think that I've learned a lot from him. I still maintain contact with him, and I know I can call him at any point in time. And even if it were like when you have your own business, there's like an emotional, it's like emotional sometimes because you're working so hard all the time. There's always more to do. And I think it can be draining, and it can, if you allow it, take a toll on other parts of your life. Because you give so much to this one thing that just kind of like always needs something. And I know that if I called him and had a question about like, how did you navigate this personally when you're going through this growing pain, he would give me a great answer. And so I know I can always go to him, and I think we wouldn't be where we are without me learning from his business. So
That's great.
Matt is amazing. We love him. Our big news. Yesterday we got the email that we were nominated in 3 categories for Best of the Hudson Valley.
What are the categories?
Best bakery. I was like, okay. Best vegan eats and best cinnamon roll.
That's
That was a weird one.
That's what's up.
Right.
This is a segue. What inspired you to go vegan? Are you vegan?
I went vegan, and so that's why we're transitioning over to being all vegan. It's always been a big part of our product line, even from the beginning. I think we really wanted something that, we're always vegetarian, and then about half of our products were vegan at the start. We wanted something that was approachable for people that don't necessarily eat entirely vegan themselves, but can like try something that is delicious and happens to be vegan. So I think that's really our goal, is to appeal to people who aren't just vegan, to kind of just promote that more.
delivery food?
Bacon.
Baking?
Yes.
Oh, fuck
Just
yeah.
bacon.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
You really want to coat the outside.
Gotcha.
Good amount of cheese. So we might need to get more from downstairs.
Okay.
And then just like a tiniest pinch of salt.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So just, yeah.
Thank you. My name is Jacqueline Rue, and I actually fell into this by Colleen actually inviting me to support them in her Little Loaf business. And so since I've been here, I've learned so much. It's like, it's not just a job. It's like you learn so many things here, and she takes the time with you to teach you and stuff. So if you do have a desire to actually go into a career of baking or doing anything, she is the best supporter for that.
Mm-hmm.
So because of this, and because she's, you know, allowed me to grace her with my presence and show me said skills, I want to go to the culinary school for baking.
Wow. Wow.
And I do a lot of the laminating, cookies, stuff like that. I've been working with them last August. Colleen and I met at a previous job, and we kind of clicked pretty well. So yeah, she asked me to be her first full-time employee, and I've been I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a cool work environment. They're cool. I love being able to like work with my hands and be like, I made this today. Like be able to like point to something tangible and makes people happy. I love sugar. It makes me happy. It's
Sugar?
cool. Yeah.
And if Ryan and Colleen inspired you to continue this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because it was just a hobby.
It was just a hobby until this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you look like you're killing it. You do. Because if I was doing it, it would have been all white. Straight up. This is very delicate. Do you think you want to have your own shop? Is it that kind of dream?
Maybe.
Or do you kind of like being a part of the team?
I like being part of the team.
Yeah?
I think that bakeries can be kind of like the heartbeat of a neighborhood or a community. Everyone celebrates their holidays with a certain kind of baked good. Like it really there's something really special about how it appeals to young people, older people, all walks of life. So I think that we could really offer that to a community somewhere. We don't know where we want to settle yet. I think we'll find the right place when it's time. That's our goal.
So we're packing up for deliveries. We have 7 deliveries we make today. And it's like science, kind of like Tetris, putting them in. But yeah, we want to make sure that we're separating allergens and separating like savory and sweet things. And yeah, things come out at different times also. So it's kind of like understanding how much space we have in the bins and what goes on the tray. And it's all algebra, calculus.
It's good. It's a video, so we captured all of that.